Well, my name's Steve Ridgel, and I thought I'd share with you a few thoughts on surviving COVID. I am just out of COVID protocols. I don't keep up a lot with it, but I got COVID. Then my wife got COVID about 4 days later. And so I thought I'd just share a few observations. Now, I want to be clear, it hadn't been much of an imposition on us. We've done great. We never were very sick. In fact, I really thought I had a little upper respiratory stuff, and I really thought it was from shredding on a tractor out at my ranch, is what I really thought it was. But one day I got up, my wife handed me my coffee. I said, "Thank you, dear." Took a big sip and said, "I can't taste this coffee." And she said, "Can you smell it?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Go get your test. You've got COVID." She was right. And then sure enough, about 4 days later, she came down with COVID. Now, I didn't know much about the protocols. They told us stay away from people 5 days and even each other 5 days. And then another 5 days where you were careful and didn't get around people a lot. And so we tried to watch that because we're kind of, well, those of you that know us, we're people. And so it's hard on us to really isolate. But we did what we were supposed to, and so we've survived. And a couple of things I'm reminded of. One is it was probably inevitable. We've been around over the last 2 or 3 years, we've been around dozens upon dozens upon dozens of people that came down with COVID. We've gotten lots of phone calls. We've had lots of people say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I think I may have exposed you." I did a lot of Zoom preaching, but I preached at a lot of churches right through COVID who were still open and were willing to do that. And I went to them and preached. And sure enough, some of them had some COVID issues, some didn't. And so it was probably inevitable. In fact, I kind of agree with what one of the medicine people told us. He said, "You know what?" He said, "Everybody's probably had it or has it or about to get it because it's pretty rampant now." Fortunately, it wasn't too severe. We never had really bad symptoms other than I had a couple of days I couldn't taste and smell. And boy, now Marcia's got better and then she still can't taste or smell, but she feels pretty good. So overall, we think that was pretty good. So yeah, but going forward, now that you had a little taste of COVID, are you going to be more careful? Let me tell you our philosophy, what it's always been. We ask God to protect us. And we try to be smart, but we're not going to live scared. We're just not. Well, what do you mean you're going to be smart? Well, we've had the vaccinations. I think we even had one booster. And if somebody says, "I've got COVID," we don't go over and say, "Hey, let's share soup together." We're not going to do that. We try to be careful. If I think I've got sniffles, I don't visit the hospital just in case. We're smart, but we're not going to live scared. I mean, God's got this. God's always had this. God can protect us. We're technically, I think, Marcia's 69, I'm 70. We may even technically be in the old people, you're more dangerous thing. But as our doctor told Marcia, yeah, you and Steve are healthy and y'all don't have any health problems. Just get through it. So we did. I didn't take any harsh deworming pills. I didn't immerse myself in some kind of hot mineral bath. We just kind of sat around and got through it. But we're going to keep living our life. We are. Are we going to get it again? Maybe. Is a variant going to come up that's really dangerous and we're going to get it and die from COVID? Well, maybe. And I could be killed in a car wreck tomorrow driving to the ranch, or I could walk out tomorrow and have a heart attack and drop dead. When we became Christians, we died, so we kind of try not to live scared. Now, I do think that Satan did use this little COVID episode. I was pretty disappointed because I was supposed to preach at Hillcrest, our home church. And I was pretty fired up about that and obviously couldn't do that. And we had to cancel a couple Bible studies, and that really frustrates me. But, we're making them up and we're meeting with people again and we'll go on and it'll be fine. But Satan will do whatever he can to mess up what God's people, what we are doing in this world. So, that was our experience with COVID. I hope you don't have it, but if you do, take it from me. It really wasn't too bad, and God's got this.